Alrighty, so I bonked my head again on the freezer door. Yeah, I'm kind of an idiot. It's just whenever I stand up after going into the bottom drawer, it's always closer than what I think it is. And also, I'm just not really focused on there being a door above me. I'm just at work, distracted, focusing on it. Less than 2 brain cells operating, and yeah, stand up, bonk my the right side of my head right on the door handle. Oh, I forgot to go back into public. Oh, well, okay, alright, whatever. Also, there's been some people doing some fireworks somewhat nearby. I was kind of waiting for them to be done before I started recording this, but it's been like an hour now, so I'm kind of just tired of waiting. If the fireworks happen to show up on the mic, I'm sorry. Hopefully it doesn't. I really need to get an actual dedicated mic someday. The plan is by the end of the year to get a new mic. I know my mic might not bother some of you guys, but it bothers me because hey, I have to listen back to my voice whenever I'm editing my videos, so it might not bother you, but it bothers me. It's not even really the quality of it. Like, my voice itself I think sounds fine on it. The problem is more so just kind of the background noise, these little pops and cracks that you sometimes hear. If I got an actual dedicated mic that's very high quality, then I would not have to worry about background noise. I keep a fan running at the back of my room too. Anyway, all that out of the way, must be another week in existence because yeah, more bad news. I guess this one could be bad or good. I mean, regardless, for those that don't know, Xbox is having layoffs now. Basically, the history of bad news in like the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that, has been first I guess it was the Sony impairment loss for Bungie. That was actually like a month or 2 ago instead, but that happened. And then what was next? Then it was Destiny 2 having its last final update, just really out of the blue. Not even the developers knew about it. And then what was after that? I think it was the Bungie layoffs, or it was either that or the GTA 6 $80 price tag with no disc, no online at launch, that whole debacle. And then after that, it was the Sony no longer doing physical media, so they're not creating any more game disc. And then now it's Xbox having layoffs. Now the reason why I say this could be bad or good, we don't really know yet. We just gotta wait for time to tell. But I think her name is Asha. I'm just gonna say Asha for now. I might be butchering that. It could be Asha. I don't know. Regardless, the new Xbox CEO did a whole tweet on Twitter just talking about the situation. And I do gotta kind of commend her on it because she really does actually go into some pretty good detail on it. It's not, generic PR slop where they act like they're the victim or whatever and they tried really hard to, prevent the layoffs or whatever. I actually really do like her wording for the whole thing, and I mean, with the way she puts it, it is kind of understandable, because really, Xbox has not been doing too well ever since the Xbox One, really. Obviously, 360 is the GOAT. If you ask me, I would say the Xbox 360 is the best console in terms of generation. Like, just that era was so good, man, in terms of games, in terms of Xbox Live. It was amazing. Obviously, if you want to say, like, the PlayStation 2 is the GOAT, I got no problems with that. But just in terms of, like, online gaming community, I think the Xbox 360 era was amazing. But outside of that, Xbox has really been struggling ever since Xbox One. And I mean, Asha goes into quite a bit of detail of how they're actually operating at like a net loss or something like that. Regardless, revenue is not good. They have like 14 layers of management, which is ridiculous as well. They're like losing 64 cents for every dollar invested, which yeah, that's not good. And then of course, on top of that, hardware prices are just going up. And it does not seem like they're stopping either. They're not getting cheaper. So all that just combines to yeah, things are being really rough, and really the layoffs are understandable in that case at least. Still is like, it feels bad because I mean, people losing their jobs, that's not cool. I think the only people that are okay with jobs being lost are management, as in like, oh, people, if management is losing jobs, people are like, oh, whatever, thank goodness, more than anything, because it always seems like management and leadership is the problem. But still, it's definitely, with 3,200 layoffs in total, I think 1,600 are today, 1,600 are going to be happening later. There's definitely going to be people that are actually just good workers that, got no problems with, and they're losing jobs. That sucks. At the same time, my fight in this has kind of ended by now. I used to care quite a bit whenever I heard about layoffs. It's not that I don't care now, it's just they're happening so much. It's just, you kind of get dull to it. You kind of go, oh, layoffs again? Yeah, alright. But regardless, I do hope that, the people that lose their jobs. They do find work somewhere else at least, but we will have to see if this actually works out in Xbox's favor. Again, losing jobs sucks, but hey, I mean, when you're not making revenue even, or well, I guess it's not revenue, but you know, profit. Profit is kind of important, and yeah, when you're not making profit, you gotta really change a lot of things. And it's not like they're just doing layoffs. There is like a whole restructuring plan for them. The management layers I was talking about, how there's 14 of them, they plan to reduce that down to 5 or potentially even 3, which yeah, that's a pretty dramatic difference right there. I always felt like that's the problem when you start to get into big companies. Like that's the one great advantage smaller indie companies have over big companies. Less workers means that there's just less management. You know, you can actually be like more of a team. Communication goes across a lot more easily, and it's kind of hard to communicate across 14 layers of management. But when you got an indie developer team of 8 people, it's really easy to just have like a whole team meeting and just, you know, chat it out. But these layoffs still are feels bad, man. I do think that they were at least handled pretty well, because even on top of that, there's like multiple game studios that are not even being laid off. They're just being either independent now or being sold off, which that is a lot better feeling than, you know, just straight up eliminated. What, it's like the team behind Senua and some other game, I forget what it was. They're being handed off. I can't remember if it's sold or just being independent, but there's like 4 or 5 studios that are being treated that way. And then also there's just some reinvestment going on, which is good. What I think it's Bethesda and ZeniMax Studios, they're going to be focusing more on their IPs. Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, and even Quake. When I saw that Quake was mentioned, I honestly got happy about that, because I do love Quake, and Quake has really just been mistreated. Oh, by the way, Quake had its 30th year anniversary recently. Quake is 30 years old now. That's cool, man. Quake is just such a cool game, and it's really just been mistreated in recent years, because really, if you think about it, the last real Quake game was Quake 4, and I mean, similar to Doom 3 in that it is kind of a little bit of the odd one out from the series. It still was a single player campaign, pretty fun. I enjoyed it personally. But then there's Quake Champions. That's just multiplayer only. I really think Quake needs the Doom treatment, where it's got a nice epic single player campaign. Multiplayer only is just not the play. If they want to have multiplayer as like a side mode, you know, similar to the older Quakes or even Doom 2016, I think that would be fine. But if they want it to really sell, they probably need just an epic single player campaign that brings back the feeling of the OG Quake 1 and 2, I think. I guess that is a question. What style of Quake do they go for? Because Quake 1 is more gothic, medieval type of style to it, whereas Quake 2 and future Quakes got a bit more cyber techno, so to say, that sci-fi robotic, whereas Quake 1 was more, you know, demons, gothic. There still was some cyber kind of techno vibes for, I think it was like some of the later episodes, but regardless, I hope Quake's just gets some good treatment. And then for Elder Scrolls, I hope that there's, in Elder Scrolls 6, obviously there still is Elder Scrolls Online. I don't know how that's been doing. I mean, it's still being supported, but I think the problem with Elder Scrolls Online is it's not really going to be getting that many new players into it, I think, because it's so old at this point, right? I think a lot of us can kind of relate to feeling like, oh, this game's 8 years old, why would I get into it now? And plus, an Elder Scrolls 6 would be a completely different situation. It would not be a live service game. It would be, you know, a one and done game, similar to Elder Scrolls 5, 4, all the older ones. You get, you know, hopefully an awesome open world to explore, a bunch of side quests that are, you know, really well written, well detailed, well thought out, just fun to play with, and of course a great campaign to go through. Like, I still hop on to Elder Scrolls 5 from time to time because the game's just so good. So they're planning to do some reinvesting like that, which is great. Again, I mean, it's awesome that they're not just doing layoffs and hoping that works out, you know, that solves all their issues. They're actually having a lot more planning behind it, so I gotta commend them for that. Because the thing with Bungie, I just gotta bring them up because they're the only kind of other scenario that I can come up with. When they had their first round of layoffs back in, what was it, late 2024, I think? Was our late 2024 or late 2023? What was it? Yeah, it's gotta be late 2023. When they had those first rounds of layoffs, there was really no other plans behind them. It was just layoffs. Like, oh, we're not making much profit, just have layoffs. There was no other restructuring or anything like that. Just layoffs and cancel a bunch of different projects. And that only will get you so far. That's a very short-term idea, a short-term solution. But it really does seem like Xbox and Asha are really focusing on the long term right here, which is good. That's really what they need. I mean, so many companies these days are just focusing on short term over long term. It really sucks to see. Yeah, and I gotta say that as a computer science person, I mean, it's rough out there. Just so many layoffs happening, AI just kind of replacing any sort of entry level job. It's hard these days. And I don't even think that's just for computer science. I think that's just the job market in general right now. I graduated in December of last year. I have not even had a chance at an interview yet. Every job that I've applied for is just either absolutely silent or they just respond back saying, oh yeah, we found, other people that are more applicable to this. Cool, thanks man. And that's not even game development. I think game development is probably even harder. A lot of competition right there. And it is kind of expensive to make a game these days. It really feels like if you want to do computer science, just kind of do it as like a side hobby. Do it for your own passion projects, really. If you want to get into game development, it kind of seems like you're screwed these days. Unless you just want to make your own game. And yeah, that definitely is a solution, but that's a very tough solution. You gotta be a very talented, skilled individual for that. Because making your own game is way more than just coding. You gotta have a creative vision behind it. You gotta do a lot of art stuff, game modeling, animation. It's a ton. At this point, I'm probably just going to be working at a restaurant for the rest of my life. And honestly, I'm ready for that. I'm at least making, some money. It's not good money, but it's at least more than minimum wage. It's at least enough to where I can pay off my college loans in maybe a year. I started college in 2021, and at the time it seemed great. Computer science, like, oh yeah, that's a pretty stable job, right? There's a large market for that, right? There is a large market for it, but it seemed good at the time, and well, now it's not so good. Oh, another Bratton Vandal part, cool. Thing is, I don't even know what else to do, really, because again, it's not just computer science that's struggling right now. I hear plenty of other job markets are awful right now, but man, there really is just so many bad news these days. As the saying goes, living the dream one nightmare at a time. Anyway, I think that's all I got to talk about for now. Hopefully everyone that got laid off manages to find a job soon. If you're entering computer science now, I hope the best for you. Anyway, I'll see you all in whatever I do next.